This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Yellow 0. And like up the legs on the back, we could just fill it with dog hair, have Lois peek out of the dog hair. We see crisscross applesauce of the Ultimate Warrior here. This is back at Royal Rumble.
Tony Schiavone calling the action at Royal Rumble.
Let's play a little audio. Let's track it. Saturday night's main event.
Wait a minute. Perfect from behind. Genius now on the Warrior. The Hawk knocked out of the ring. The Warrior now on 2 men. Hammering away. Warrior just leveling man after man after. Oh no! He clotheslined Hogan. Hulkster coming in from behind. I knew it. You knew what? I knew these two couldn't get along. I knew the egos were. Jesse Ventura, stop it. Don't be starting it. That was an accident and you know it. He's going for the big one, I think. Earthquake. Setting up the Warrior. Oh, no, from the second rope. This is going to do it. There's not going to be any WrestleMania. Not after this. Wait a minute. Hulk Hogan in the ring. What? The Hulkster standing between the Earthquake and the Ultimate Warrior. Ooh, with a right hand. I don't believe this! Hulk Hogan! I mean, why? Why would a guy step into the ring? Hasn't Hogan seen the limelight enough? And up, oh no! Look out! The Earthquake down to the chest! Wait a minute, on his way to the ring! The Ultimate Warrior! Earthquake comes off for another! The Warrior! I don't understand the Warrior's thinking on this. Why should he run to the ring and save Hogan? The Ultimate Warrior in there with Hulk Hogan. What's going on? The Hulkster wanting no part of the Warrior. Warrior crisscrossing the ring. What's he gonna do? This man is... Wait a minute. Clothesline. Here it comes up from behind. He stopped. Wait. What's going on? We may get WrestleMania before WrestleMania. No, the Warrior's gone. Just like that, he came down and helped the Hulkster. And now he's gone in a flash.
Well, that brings us right to where we are here today in the Skydome for the Ultimate Challenge. Let's go to our ring announcer, Howard Finkel.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of WrestleMania 6. It is scheduled for one fall, and it is final or title. Introducing first, weighing 275 pounds, the Intercontinental Champion, the Ultimate Warrior.
Listen to the ovation, Jess, for the Ultimate Warrior. Here he comes. He's running.
You know, I think that's a mistake. He should be conserving his strength right here. He's facing the challenge of his life, Gorilla.
Well, you may have a point there, Jesse. However, this guy's in great shape. A lot of Ultimate Warrior fans here, Jess. Supporters. This place is going bananas.
67,000 of them have waited for this moment, Gorilla Monsoon.
It's deafening. And they are giving him the accolades he so richly deserves.
Well, it's going to be interesting because it seems the crowd, sign-wise, is about 50-50. It's a toss-up, the same as the match.
Well, we'll find out in just a moment.
His opponent from Tennessee, California, weighing 303 pounds.
Dude, I'm fired up. What a big hype. What a big entrance. Dude, this is a spectacle. This is a big fight field. This is the main event.
I love it's still my favorite entrance music of all time.
Hulk Hogan or the Ultimate Warrior or both?
No, Hulk Hogan's. I Am a Real American.
Hard to beat.
Yeah. Got it on Spotify. It's on one of my playlists. Rick Derringer, buddy. The just silly lyrics, really, if you think about it, but the music. Dun, 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 dun.
Such good stuff, dude.
The stare down.
Such a
Warriors.
monumental moment in my childhood right here. It gets no bigger.
What do you think about that yellow belt?
I loved it. I tried to buy it. It's with a private collector in Boston area now. You know what
Breathing heavy already.
You know what I remember is, there was like some sort of plant a tree day or something on this day in 1990. Cause after the pay-per-view, we, maybe before the pay-per-view, whatever. I just remember me and my family, me and my parents and sister, we went and planted a tree on this piece of land my dad had bought. And this was the shit, dude. This was the talk of my school, the hype of me and all my friends. It was sort of like, are you a Beatles guy? Or are you an Elvis guy? Right. So we've been told in recent years, you got to pick, it's Beatles or Elvis, or you got to pick it's Seinfeld or Friends. And you pick a side. You can't like both. You got to pick one. And I had always been a little Hulkamaniac, but I got to tell you, I bought into this Ultimate Warrior shit. It was the bright colors. It was the paint. It was the running to the ring. It was the music. It was the colored belts. I was a fan.
So you were on the Warrior side here as a young Conrad Thompson.
That's the thing. I was Hulk Hogan is the reason I was a wrestling fan, but I felt like Warrior was going to win. But it was one of those deals where I wasn't going to be upset either way. Like the reason I went to the house show was to see Hulk Hogan. I didn't care if the Ultimate Warrior was on there. I wanted to go see Hulk Hogan. And of course he wasn't there. The main event was Macho King and Dusty Rhodes. Still had a great time, but I wanted to see Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was, me and my little sister, we used to be little dumbasses in front of the TV doing our Hulk Hogan poses and pretending to cup our ears. And I was leg dropping that little bitch and all kinds of shit. It was awesome.
Are there family home movies of that?
Nah, we were poor, man. We didn't have a camera like that.
That'd been some great shit, man. Wow.
My dad bought a piece of land and we planted that little tree for Earth Day or plant a tree day or whatever the shit it was that we were supposed to do in school. And it was supposed to be where we built a house one day. Of course, we never did that. We just, we weren't super successful financially as a family when I was young. The deal was we would get the WWF pay-per-views. I'd have to beg, borrow, and deal for that. And then a guy that my dad worked with would get the WCW ones. And so we would record it. So we would take our VCR and record this pay-per-view and then he would take it to work the next day and give it to his NWA buddy. And the same would happen for us with the NWA pay-per-views.
Wow. See, part of your childhood stays with you forever.
Forever, to the point that once I was doing pretty well in the mortgage game in 2013, I tried to buy both of these belts from the Ultimate Warrior, the world title and the Intercontinental.
I think you told me that story.
Yep.
Tried to con you out of it, didn't he?
Yep. Said he had the yellow belt, sent me pictures, said he was going to sell it. I found out in the meantime, a guy in Boston had it. When I tried to call him out on that, he quickly shut it down. But it was weird because he wouldn't do a traditional deal. He wanted me to fly to the airport with cash. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll do it, but I'm bringing a belt expert with me to verify that it's the real one. And then, of course, so he's like, of course it's the real one. Who else would have it? And he sent me pictures. And that's when my belt hookups were like, that belt's already been sold a long time ago. But still, it would be one of the, look at this head movement that became so many gifs over the years of Warrior's head bouncing up and down in front of Hulk Hogan's thermos. Yeah, I would love to have, if there's two belts I could have, it would be, this Winged Eagle. It's dual plated. It's got a wider cut on the leather, and that yellow Intercontinental, which just became iconic for him.
This match is so well done.
Pat Patterson, shout out to our man Pat, who helped put this one together, and it's the best match Warrior ever had.
And one of the best Hulk Hogan's ever had.
Absolutely.
They just did it so well. I mean, they started out slow, trying to show each other that they were the strongest of the two. And now they pick up the pace here a little bit, and he no-sold a body slam. Now, boom. Hogan selling that one.
Allegedly, by the way, after this show is over, Vince jumps in a limo. Hulk Hogan's in the limo, and supposedly nobody said a word.
Whoa. Interesting. Is that telling us that Hogan was pissed he did the job? Or he knew? I don't know. I don't know what does that say?
Hogan wrote in his book all about this match. Also, he had an interesting mystique about him. He talked about the Mighty Warriors and heaven and stuff like that. He had a pretty good rap, but when he got in the ring, after he ran in and shook the ropes and all that stuff, he had no game. He had no wrestling psychology. And that's what it's all about, creating emotion. Great guy, nice guy, but really just a flash in the pan. Vince McMahon wanted Ultimate Warrior to beat me for the belt. I didn't agree with him. I didn't think he was the guy that could carry the load. And then again, maybe I didn't give Vince a choice in the matter. By that time, my mind wasn't focused on wrestling the way it should have been. 7 years of carrying the load as the main guy had taken its toll on me. I was tired and starting to get hurt a lot. I was beat up. I should have told Vince I just needed a break. I should have said, I'm hurt. Everybody else took time off. I should have looked in the mirror and said, hey man, you're human. You can only push yourself so far. Instead, I kept going. I kept wrestling. And the more it ground me down, the more my attitude started to suck. So when Vince wanted me to hand the title to Warrior, it was because he could see down the road a time when he might not be able to depend on Hulkamania and would need to switch gears. And I agreed to lose the belt to Warrior, but I made sure we had a hell of a match. I just when it looked like it was over, I kicked out of his finish. Then I pinned him and he kicked out of my finish. At the end of the night, the referee was supposed to get the belt from the timekeeper and give it to Warrior, but this was my chance to steal back everything he had gotten from me. So I zipped over to the timekeeper and ripped the belt out of his hand. Then I walked up to the ring apron with the belt, looked up to God, shook my head yes, walked into the ring and handed Ultimate Warrior the belt. As I left the arena, 68,000 people in Skydome watched me go. Ultimate Warrior held the belt over his head in victory and no one cared. It turned out I was right about Ultimate Warrior. He couldn't carry a load as heavyweight champion, not the way Hulk Hogan had. And Vince's attempt to move in a different direction hadn't been the success he had hoped it would be.
Can't argue with those last couple of sentences. Because it didn't, did it?
No.
No.
Allegedly, they took this match so seriously that Warrior flew to Hogan in Tampa to practice the match for a whole week with Pat Patterson. And they went sort of spot by spot and got it all done. And supposedly when it's all happening, Pat Patterson said that both he and Vince go out into the arena to watch the match. And when Hogan was pinned, they both looked at each other and had tears in their eyes. It was just an emotional moment to see the guy who helped build the company sort of pass the torch. And Pat also tells the story of no one being able to find Warrior backstage after the match. And when he did finally find him, he was in a broom closet alone, crying. He was just overwhelmed, but didn't want to let anybody, see this.
Huh? Oh, those are some great stories, man.
WrestleMania 6 did a $3.5 million gate here and a 3.8% buy rate. So, it's not nearly what it did for WrestleMania 5. WrestleMania 5 had 767,000 buys. We've got 560 here. So it definitely a downtick, but the trend continues. WrestleMania 7 is only going to have 400,000 buys. So the best days of the WWF are behind them at this point. And you knew that. So you said, fuck this. I'm out of here. I'm going to go jack off RoboCop.
See, I was ahead of my time.
You were, you knew.
One of the things I remember, another thing I remember about being near, and this is right before this match. I walk up to the gorilla position and there are a lot of people standing around and Linda McMahon's there. And I'm standing there and Linda says, "You're going to miss us. You know that, don't you?" I said, "Yeah, I know I'm going to miss you, Linda," because Linda and I really got along. And she said, "Well, I just want you to remember that when you're down in Atlanta, how much you're going to miss us." That's one of the things I remember about being backstage that day too. Linda talking to me.
Do you remember seeing Tito Santana backstage and him putting on the armbands and face paint?
No.
It was written in the torch that a subscriber hid in the bathroom stall the day before WrestleMania, and he overheard Tito trying to convince Vince McMahon to just let him put on the paint and armbands and pretend to be the Ultimate Warrior, like a replacement warrior.
What?
I made all that up. It was funny. No, it was really written in the torch. You know, they used to run funny ha-has, and the idea that it was the replacement warrior, Tito Santana and face paint and armbands. Little Dave Silva would have been all for it.
The stupid part of that is, and the believable part of that story is that there had been a snitch hiding in the stall from the wrestling torch. Jesus. These guys are doing all right though, man.
What do you think? Would this have been a better WrestleMania if it was Hogan Zeus in a singles match?
No.
Do you think this would have been a better run for the company if way back when the Dingo Warrior went to World Championship Wrestling and Sting went to the World Wrestling Federation and it's Hogan Sting here instead?
Yeah.
Can you imagine Ric Flair and the Ultimate Warrior at Clash of the Champions 1 trying to go to a 45-minute time limit?
Yeah, when you think about the flip side, it's not too good, is it? The common denominator here is, and I know he's dead, so it's not always cool to talk about someone who's no longer with us, but the common denominator here is that the Ultimate Warrior really was the shits. Not only in the ring, but as a person as well. And that's well documented.
Well documented.
And the person I talked about earlier, Alicia Murphy, right? Who was the one that was my assistant and was pissed off about me editing out that match. She ended up being hired by the Ultimate Warrior to be his personal assistant. She called me about it and I said, "Don't do it. He's very well known not being a nice guy." And I think I've told this story before. She lived in New Canaan, Connecticut. She packed up everything and drove her shit in a U-Haul van to Arizona to be with him. And when she got there, he fired her. After she drove all the way there, she called me and Lois crying miserably. And I think we maybe sent her money to drive back to New Canaan or something. And it was like, "I told you, Leisha." And I hated to say I told you so, but that was it.
You didn't hate to say I told you so.
I did hate to say it because I like Leisha.
But you still said it.
Yeah. Leisha died, I think, in 2011. Here he comes, warrioring up. Yeah, I wonder why Vince went with him.
Who else would he went with?
Well, that is probably the answer to that question. Who else do I have? And the answer is you look up and down the card, I don't know.
Right. So what did you do after this show was over? You know, sometimes the guys go out and celebrate, hit the bars, hit a big restaurant, have a big time. What'd you do?
No, I flew right back to Stanford because I had to edit the video cassette that night.
You were editing it the same night?
Same night, yeah. We always did. Because Coliseum Video needed it out quickly. So we would edit all night, the night of the show, and get it done. And I think I told the story WrestleMania 5, which was my first one. Not only did I edit it all that night, I stayed in the edit suite with my tux on and my makeup on all night. Didn't even have a chance to go home and change. Went right from the private, we had a private plane that landed. And no, actually, I'm sorry, WrestleMania 5, we were going to take a private plane, but it didn't take off. So we took a limousine from Atlantic City to Stanford. Me, Kevin Dunn, and Dick Ebersol. And I went right to the edit suite in Stanford and spent the whole night in the edit suite putting it together. So that's how you had to get it out immediately. So no, I didn't celebrate. I mean, I wasn't a celebratory guy anyway.
No, you're a weird guy, as we all know.
Right.
But, you know, after the first TV for AEW, me and you and JR did go have a few celebratory drinks with Michael Dawkins.
Mm-hmm. We did. But again, that's because I'm a weird guy.
Weird.
Wish I weren't.
Wish I may, wish I might.
Mm-hmm. Using the power moves that got him here.
Yeah, this sucks.
It does, because you don't like bear hugs. But again, in the course of these two powerful, big individuals, it works.
Who likes bear hugs?
You obviously don't.
But who likes them?
Nobody likes them.
No.
And not even bears. And you are probably going to see.
Shut it down. Not even bears.
You're going to see less and less of bear hugs thanks to COVID-19.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, really, in today's society, is what we're watching safe? No.
I mean, since we've been doing this, just this show, more than 500 people have died.
I don't believe that.
It's the end of the world, except for podcasts. We've got the network and Tony Schiavone, as long as he'll last.
Well, you know what? I'm sure as long as we've been doing this podcast, 500 people have died, but I bet you not all 500 are from COVID-19.
Or maybe it's fake news.
No, I don't think it's fake news. Nope. Fans really they went with that.
I gotta tell you, I'm not hating working from home. Might be my new thing.
Working from home's great, man.
I might be a late adopter to this.
There's gonna be a lot more people working from home. Oh, fucking referee bump.
Stupid ass. But what a bump though.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see him? That was like one of the best ref bumps ever.
Yeah, he took a shot, man.
We're going to the top rope here. High risk maneuver. Double axe handle. Down he goes. Gonna try the other side. Warrior off the top rope is a rare sight.
Mm-hmm.
All right, running in place. Here we go. You know what that means.
Mm-hmm. Here it comes. Yeah. Going to hit him with his flying shoulder.
Well scouted by the Hulkster. Too smart for him. Been in these championship matches too long for that.
Hulk should have won. There's the out. Hulk should have won.
One, two, three, count to 1,000. Doesn't matter. By the way, I feel good that we're actually getting to watch this because the rematch you and I've already covered, Halloween Havoc 1998, one of the worst piece of shit shows ever. You don't want to miss it.
One, two count. Fans love that false finish. Interested to see how they're going to react to the actual finish. One, two, and he kicks out.
I like that Hogan's counting himself. Like, come on, man. Count to 1,000 over here. What's the hold up? I was flipping out when I was a kid here. Like, he beat him. He beat him. That should have counted. Big bump by the Warrior. Not common for him in this era. I need one of those WrestleMania 6 ring skirts. Ben Brown, if you're listening, let's do a deal. I'll send you some Andre boots for this WrestleMania 6 ring skirt.
Did you think here's a fan that they were going to have a count out here after all those false finishes?
No, absolutely not.
I did.
You thought the main event would be a count out?
Yep.
Oh, that would have been horrific.
Yeah, sure it would have been. But then again, you know, I went through all the Jim Crockett Promotions screw job finishes. So
yeah, but that ain't how Vince does it. Vince has been very, formulaic over the years. Let's talk about that a little bit. Cause I recently had this discussion with both Bruce and Jim. Do you think Vince would ever put a tag team match on as main event of WrestleMania?
Nope.
JR says the same. Here we go. Big press slam. The fans know what this is. This is the beginning of the end for the Ultimate Warrior and more of a fall than a press. Big splash. Fans know that's the end. Look at people starting to stand up. Like that's it. They're not going to be able to kick out of this. And look at the crowd. The little Hulkamaniacs are going nuts. They've seen this 1,000 times. They know what's coming. No sell a punch. And another one.
See, this was the great part of the match.
What happens about the third one? Here we go. Here comes the third one. And now he's really hulking up. Now we know what's coming. He's going to try to throw a fourth one and block. No, he let it hit. He usually blocked on then. There's the block. 1, 2, 3, into the ropes. Big boot. You know what's coming. Leg drop, 3 punches, big boot, and he missed. The Warrior comes back with a splash and track it.
1, 2, he got him! He got him! Unbelievable! The Warriors won the title! We have a new World Wrestling Federation champion! And new World Wrestling Federation champion! The Ultimate Warrior! This place has gone crazy! Unbelievable, Matsu! What a battle! Both ways!
I don't know if you saw, but referee Earl Hebner tried to give Warrior both belts. Warrior knew the deal, only kept the Intercontinental, poses with it for a minute before he throws it down. And, now Hogan's going to go out and grab the world title. So that was always the plan. You can see even Warrior knew and didn't grab both belts. He wants Hogan handed to him. Man, Warrior with and without face paint are two totally different looking individuals, were they not?
Wow.
Like
Were they ever?
If Warrior robbed you at face paint with face paint on and then wiped it off, you would never know that was that guy. Like I've never seen a disguise that worked as well. he could have committed all the crimes he wanted in the face paint and no one would have known. Here we go. Here comes the big moment. We're going to track it.
They don't know what the Hulkster's going to do, and neither do I. Oh, look at this. Hulk presented the belt and raised the hand of the Warrior. The Hulkster has just taken one giant step towards immortality.
Well, I gotta say this. At least it wasn't a Mike Tyson, Don King type affair. The man lost it, and he's going out like a true champion, Monsoon.
What an iconic shot of the Ultimate Warrior standing on the turnbuckle, holding up both belts, the world title and the Intercontinental. It's a big moment in wrestling history, man.
It's a great show. Really, top to bottom, I thought it was a great show.
A lot of fans really excited about what's next. And I'm excited because we've got more great stuff coming your way next week here on the show. Man, I didn't think we would ever get to really talk about WrestleMania 6. So I was tickled to get to talk about WrestleMania 6 with you because it's, as I said, you know, everything that I remember about my childhood as a wrestling fan. And next week, we're going to be back at you with something a little different. We're going to go visit April 8th, 1989 World Championship Wrestling. We'll be back on the 15th with Spring Stampede 2000. Of course, on the 22nd, we're going to have April 24th, 1993's edition of Saturday Night. And then Backlash 06 will round out the month of April for us on the 29th. That's when God would make his pay-per-view debut against Vince McMahon. That's a real sentence. But Tony, as we see the pyro going off here and the Ultimate Warrior posing on the giant Jumbotron here in the Sky Dome, it feels like it's about that time.
It certainly is. Tony Schiavone coming to you live from the Phoenix International Skyport, as they call it, not airport, where we are awaiting the arrival of Conrad Thompson with his cachet of money to hand the money off to Jim Hellwig, who says he has the yellow Intercontinental title belt. And as Conrad Thompson comes off with his very, very large, oh my gosh, take a look at that entourage. There's Dave Silva, there's Pondwater Dave, there is Matt Coon. I believe that's Matt Coon. That may be an imposter. You never know with Matt Coon, kind of a shady business. Chris McDonald, we understand. Oh, he has his passport, so he was able to come. The entourage is coming up. They're getting ready to exchange the belt for the cash. I'm standing here at the microphone. Neither man wants to talk to me. Conrad has opened up the cachet of money. There it is. My God, take a look at all that money. Absolutely. There may be some Confederate money in there. We're not sure. It's from Alabama. And on the other side, Jim Hellwig pulls out of his case and he opens up and, oh no, there's the belt. But Dave Milliken is standing behind Conrad, shaking his head. No, stand by. They're in a conference. Conrad says he doesn't want the belt. The fight's breaking out. Conrad throws him down. A leg drop covers him. 1, 2, 3. The Warrior just died. We're out of time. See you next week on What Happened When. We come to you on Wednesdays on Westwood One, and as always on Mondays.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.